The market's crashed to a 15-month low. My name's D7 here at Grok Trade. This is the weekend edition. Good through Monday, January 18th, 2016, and the markets have been bearish. Take a look here at a number of charts. Let's get started. Here's the skinny on the S&P 500 daily chart. Big drop, 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 drop. Big trend line we've been talking about for some time now. Look at previous videos, you want to talk about it. Gap down, went down, came back up, and here's the deal. Let me make sure that that is right where I want it. Here's the deal. We closed slightly above that trend line. Slightly, not much. Slightly above that trend line on big volume. Could be capitulation. This could bounce up and fill this gap that we have here. Well, it's a void. I'll say a void. It's not a gap. It's a void. This void right here could get filled. I want to look at the weekly. Weekly is this. Last week we broke a major trend line. We continued down. That is not surprising on increased volume. As far as I'm concerned, on the weekly we could continue downward. However, on the daily, if we go bullish on the daily, we're going to see a reversal pattern made coming into this next week. Going to look here at the monthly. The monthly, now we're only a couple weeks into the month, but this damage is real. So far for the month, we've broken a major trend line, monthly trend line, and this swing low. You drop, come up, we come across here. This swing low is now violated. This is big time problem area. If the daily goes bullish, obviously the weekly would go bullish. If the weekly goes bullish, I could see a close for the month being above 191.58 on the spider. So come right back to that area. Something that we're definitely watching for. Now I want to go over here, take a look at the diamonds. Diamonds daily. This is the Dow. We have a swing low coming across. Broke major support. We closed below this area of support. We do have this gap down, run up. You have a spinning top reversal pattern after an extended drop. So it only makes sense, especially with such high volume, to see a bounce take place here, but it has resistance to get through. If you look here at the weekly chart on the Dow, we broke major support last week. This week we went down. And that's very typical, especially on the increased volume. We have a 50-week moving average coming up that can act as support, so that's something that we're watching. And on the diamonds or on the Dow, we're looking at the monthly chart. We hit our head, we dropped major support, we came up, hit our head here and then dropped. That gave us a trend line coming across, and then we head down. Just a massive drop. Again, this is a 15-month low where we close. This is a big time drop to be looking at. At this moment, we are below this swing low here. You can see that right coming across. Right there, big swing low. Mark these numbers in pink. They're big time levels that I have marked for you. This is still a dynamic candlestick, still moving. Anything can happen. And now going to, let's go here to the NASDAQ. A lot of us trade technicals. Let's talk about this on the daily chart on the NASDAQ. Big drop, 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 little pop, drop, drop, drop. This support line, see this support coming across right there? Did a touch and go. We have a spinning top, reversal pattern, big volume, capitulation. I can see a rally commencing. I can see that taking place. I certainly could see that, so something to watch for. Go over here to the weekly chart, and we have this big rise, big drop, 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 drop. Broke it 2 weeks ago. Same thing, pop down. And more volume, very typical danger zone, danger zone. As far as the weekly is concerned, gang, we're in a lot of trouble. And if we go here to the monthly chart, again, this is on the NASDAQ. This month, we're breaking down a major area of support. Bad news. And we have an area of resistance where it could be resistance coming across right there. And we broke that swing low. But it's a dynamic candlestick. It could rally back up. So it's something that we're watching for. And Russell's. Now remember, Russell's can be a leading indicator to the upside and the downside. And we're going to look at the daily chart first. Well, it's interesting. We had support. That support was broken. We tried to get back above it, but then we dropped back below. So this area here, it's having problems. It tried to deal with it. It hit its head here and drop. This support level, it gapped down through it. Very problematic. Now we're down here and we get this hammer on huge volume. We get this big hammer. The question is, if we rally up, this would be what's called a death jab, and you'll learn about that in our mentoring program. But this could get really bullish and quickly. And if you look here at the weekly chart, it's damaged. The last 2 weeks have just been horrible to the downside. Just a big crash, huge, massive drops here in the market on the week. The weeklies are just in a lot of trouble. Here's the monthly. The monthly dropped, it popped, hit its head, dropped. Big monthly drop here. It has a long ways to go to even get to the swing low. So relatively speaking, small caps are sizably more weak than what we're seeing in other major indices. And that is noteworthy and something to take in consideration. And I like to take a look here at the financials. Financials, ETF, we drop. We got a nice drop here, no support in the area. The weekly chart, big drop. It looks much like the indices, major support levels broken. And the monthly, you can see we're dropping down. And let's look at the banks real quick here. The banks on the daily, down, but we do have a hammer. So that hammer tells me we could get a rally here going into next week. The weekly chart is damaged, bad. There's not a lot of hope for that. And the monthly, this is the first month that we've broken a trend line. So for the banks, all the major indices have broken trend lines, but the banks haven't. This is the first time it has broken a big trend line. For this to heal itself, it's got to have to rally all the way back. It's going to have a rally of rallies take place to heal this, to stay within this uptrend. But this is a rising wedge, which is very bearish. And if you look here at the MACD, it's a huge bearish divergence. So this drop should not shock anybody. Very typical to have that with a rising wedge. And I'd like to take a look at the dollar. This is interesting. This is the daily chart on the dollar. We had resistance, and this resistance goes back a ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we break it. Normally it hit its head and drop. We broke over, so that's a very bullish move for the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is showing a lot of strength, but it's extended here. So I see it probably basing for a little bit before it moves higher, but I certainly see the opportunity for this to move higher. And check this out. Had this line, resistance. We broke it for the week. It broke resistance. So this is a big time bullish move. If you look at the monthly here, it's just chopping higher. We're dropping, but if this thing rolls up on the MACD down there, this could just continue to rise. Crude oil. Big time 12-month lows were under $30. I was looking for a buy, if you remember, on this because we had a falling wedge. This thing looked great. However, it needed to stay between these two trend lines or break above. It did not do that. It broke below, and that is no good. If you look here at the weekly chart, same thing, weekly chart. Last week, it actually broke below it. It ruined any real chances, and now we have follow through the downside. Look at the massive volume. It's not shocking because you have everybody selling crude oil right now because of the drop that it's doing. However, if I go back and take a look at something on the daily, and I'll point it out to you guys. On the daily chart, we drop. Now we get this doji. It's a big doji that dropped. I think that this is going to be an island doji, or if we're very fortunate, as far as the bulls are concerned, this will be an abandoned baby reversal pattern. Now what that means, it's more of an exotic reversal pattern. If you have two open windows here, which we do here, not by much, but we do, and if we pop, given us our second, if we have an open window here, which we do, and we pop up and we get a second open window here, gap up, then this could be a big time bottom for oil. And you're hearing it here. I'm calling if we get a big gap up on Tuesday when the market's open. Remember, it's Martin Luther King Day on Monday. We are not open in the U.S. markets on Monday. Markets are closed. But on Tuesday, we get this big gap up, and I got an alert set at $9. We get over $9, I'm going to be watching this, because I'm going to be looking to buy crude oil, because this could definitely be a bottom. Look at the huge volume rolling in. This could be capitulation. I know I'm using a lot of words, a lot of terms you guys don't know. No problem. Get through our mentoring and you'll be caught up and you'll understand how to trade, what this terminology is, how to use it to make money in the markets. Gold and silver, gang. Now listen to me. Now this here, this is a monthly or a daily chart. We're within the confines of a triangle. Look for a breakout. If this dude breaks out, I'm looking to buy silver. I'm looking to buy gold. Let me show you the weekly chart. What has me excited about this? Look at this. Big falling wedge. This is great, isn't it? Big, and we have this awesome bullish divergence. I didn't draw this in. I should probably show you. Let's do this. Draw this line up. We're going up here, going down here. Big time bullish divergence. We're at a support level. If it starts to rise and breaks this trend line, buy city on silver. On the monthly, look at this. It just looks juicy, doesn't it? It's beautiful, gang. Very, very nice. Love it, love it, love it. And gold, very similar. Precious metals, something I'm looking for. This here is, let me double click gold. Big symmetrical triangle. We're bouncing around in here. If it breaks. If you remember, I put this triangle down here. If it pulled back to this area, you could buy in at and it touched the line and popped. I did not get in at that line. That would have been the line to get in. I talked about it, but didn't do it. But if this thing breaks out and gets over these resistance area, and you can see the numbers there, that's big time buy territory. Here's the weekly chart. I'm looking for this dude to rally and break out and run. And furthermore, the monthly chart, look at this. It's right there. It broke over, it pulled back. The next 2 weeks, if it can continue higher the next 2 weeks, that's buy territory, gang, because it will have broken a major trend line on the monthly chart. So remember, if it goes higher, I said buy. I gave you a triangle or a arrow here, but I also gave you a thumbs up. Warning if it breaks lower, like crude oil broke lower over the falling wedge, so that would be big time warning. Here's the VIX. I'm going to show you the monthly chart on the VIX. This is the fear indicator. It's rolling over. See the cupping formation? Now we're heading up, and I said watch for it to pop. For the month, it's already starting to roll. First time it's been over the 20-month moving average in a long time, and we're right there at it. I mean, it's just been forever. When's the last time we've been over that 20-month moving average? I got to pull in a lot of data here, and I don't have enough data to do it. So it's just never been above it, and we're getting ready to get above it now. Look at this. Look how much data I'm bringing into this. Look at that line. We're just over it for the month. Let's look at the weekly. Look at the weekly. Same thing. A lot of lines. The weekly has already, last week it broke that. So I said, look at this thing to rally. Sure enough, that's what's happening. Wow. Daily chart right here. Boom. Big run on the daily chart. And if you go here to free online trading education, the only thing I want to share with you is something that's free. And you want to get signed up for the 101 courses, you can do that right there. I talked about mentorship a few times. Click on Trading Mentor. Find out about us holding your hand and helping you make some money in this market, even in a bearish market. We can do that. If you like the video, like it. Catch you guys later.